love, give me life, give me hope. See, these are the qualities in the lyrics of this song. These are the qualities that this performer, this man who brought us a real interest in Eastern religion, yes, we can thank him for bringing this idea back to us. These are qualities that he found so important to live in his own life that he was able to then create lyrics to a song that sang that longing out. Give me these things. And so today we're going to talk about what it looks like for us to be able to step into our wholeness. Glenda talked about this idea of knowing that we're enough. Knowing that we're enough. And actually, the title of our talk today is 10 Steps to Wholeness. And I have to tell you that when we started talking about, oh my gosh, how are we going to work with 10 steps to holiness? Oh, well, holiness. Actually, that is probably a perfect Freudian slip, because our wholeness is about our holiness. Absolutely. But when we talked about how are we going to do this, Glenda said, oh gosh, we've got to make sure that we give them all 10 steps. If we promise 10 steps, we got to give 10 steps. And I'm going, that's a big assignment for a 15-minute talk. And then she reminded me that in our previous experiences with spiritual teachers, we were at the feet of a teacher once who promised us, 7 or 8 gates of portals of enlightenment, and the teacher lost interest around portal 4 and we never got there. And so we decided, or I decided, that it's important for us to touch on all 10 of these steps, because as I was working with this material in sort of a state of panic, because I knew I was going to be speaking first this morning, and I kind of knew the focus of Glenda's talk, I thought, okay, so how do I do Wholeness 101 Overview Reader's Digest version? How am I going to fit this big topic into this, small amount of time? And then as I started working with the material for the workshop this afternoon, and I started working with the essence of this material, I realized that while it is 10 steps, and this is Deepak Chopra's work, it's at the very end of his book on reinventing the body, resurrecting the soul. It's at the very end of the book, I realized that all 10 steps are dependent on each other, that they all flow together, and that it takes all aspects, all 10 steps to create wholeness. If we are not able to accomplish all of them, we're missing a piece. So they all have to work together. They flow together, they support each other, they strengthen each other, and they're all about body, mind, and soul. All of it working together, and it seems like a really huge project, but I'm here to let you know that it isn't as daunting as it might seem. And boy, I'm going to zip right through that when I get to that part of my talk. Because it's simply being in a state of harmony, body, mind, and soul, with the experience of our life in the moment. That's really what it's all about. That's what our wholeness is about. That's where our holiness is. It's about this alignment. It's remembering the truth of who we are. It's remembering our divinity, and it's remembering that we're here in, where's Linda? In our people suit, Linda. We're here in our people suit. And it's all got to work together. We're not transcendent yet. We're still living in our bodies and walking in the world and bumping up against the human condition and all of the complexities of life. And we are these incredible divine beings having this experience. So, being aligned, getting this body that sometimes doesn't function the way we want it to, or certainly look the way we want it to, like Linda's opening statement, getting this body and this busy, incredible, intelligent, awesome, self-reflected mind, and this truth of our being, this essence of who we really are, getting all of that to line up and work together is the purpose of our journey. It's the purpose of our soul's journey. And it's going to be the purpose of this talk. I'm going to give you some pointers along the way. And really what it's about remembering the truth of who we are. It's remembering that we're here in body, and remembering that we are this energy of the divine expressing. And the only place that we're ever going to be able to know our wholeness, know our holiness, and live it is right where we are. I love Daniel's Naaman's song. You know, amen. Right where I am, I say amen. It's in the present moment where we're standing. That's where our wholeness and holiness is. It's nowhere else. It's not going to come later, and it didn't come then. It's where we are, because it's about our experience and our perception in the moment. That's what it's about. And we have to stay very present with that. So, we need to practice. You know, if we were all done, they'd call it spiritual all-doneness. They wouldn't call it spiritual practice. We're here to practice our walk in the world. You know, very few of us are going to get it perfect. Yeah, very few of us are going to get it perfect. Sometimes we might get it perfect. If you're a 12-stepper, you know, it's practice, not perfection. We practice until we get it right. And we just keep on, one day at a time, one step at a time, moving in the direction of our vision and our goal. And our challenge is to create a lifestyle, create a way of being in the world that supports our vision or our holiest purpose, our truth of our divinity, and keep that alive so that it doesn't like get diminished by our experiences. We create a lifestyle that supports it. Those of you who come to Common Ground most Sundays in the morning and come to Common Ground's experiences, our workshops and our classes, that's a lifestyle that you have committed to support your journey. It's creating a lifestyle that keeps the vision of wholeness and holiness right there at the forefront of your life experience, you see. But this is the deal. Having a life that's not whole is really easy. And you know why it's easy? Because we get into habits. We get into unskillful ways of being in the world. We get into old conditioning, old perceptions about ourselves, old relationships, whatever that looks like. It's easier not to show up whole than it is to show up in our wholeness. We're always holy. Sometimes it gets a little bit clouded over. Sometimes. And so we've got to make these promises to ourselves that we can keep, which is something we're going to talk about this afternoon in our workshop. We've got to make these promises to ourselves that we can keep so that we can continue to grow in our wholeness, grow toward our highest, holiest self. It's not a ladder. It's not about going up a staircase. It's not about, you know, the next plateau. It's about taking the steps as we go. It's like the spiral. See, it's not about this and then you do this and then you do this and then you do this. It's not that at all. It's about living it all together in a sort of a cohesive pattern. It's like a mandala rather than a staircase. So, okay, here we go. Get ready, get set, go. We're going to zip through these 10 steps, all right? And I've given them to you on the back of your handout today. In case I missed something, you can prompt me. Okay, the first thing, and this is one of the very most important things, you've got to nourish what Deepak Chopra calls the light body. The light body is your soul. The light body is that aspect of yourself that you recognize as your spiritual self. You've got to nourish that, you see. You've got to pay attention where you're channeling your energy. Because if you're not paying attention to your soul's journey, where are you going to start? This is the starting point. You've got to pay attention and care about placing a priority and placing your focus on your spiritual journey. And then, like George Harrison, give me life, give me peace, give me love, give me hope, give me these things. These are his values, his qualities. We got to know what's important to us. We have to know what the soul qualities are that we want to experience in our journey. And guess what? We get to have whatever soul qualities we want. And we get to allow those soul qualities to unfold. Not all soul qualities are calling to each one of us. I'm not particularly called to adventure, to that, you know, that exploration sort of thing, that going out and finding, you know, spelunking and doing those kinds of things. Some people get a great deal of soul nourishment from that kind of activity. I'm not called to that. But I can tell you that I am called to harmony. I am called to beauty. I am called to creativity. I am called to love. Those qualities are important to me in the way my life shows up in the world. Every one of us has got to take the time to find out, this is what this whole month has been about, self-reflection, to find out what's important to us and place our energy there. What do we care about? Recognize the qualities that we want to live and allow that then to inform the rest of our walk. Second, so first we've got to know what we care about. Then we have to choose, make a conscious choice to grow. Make a conscious choice to grow rather than consider life a big boring project. Rather than just sit around and vegetate and wait for life to come to us. Rather than allow life, and I don't care how old you are. I'm 67 years old and guess what? I'm ready to go. I'm ready to create something new. I'm ready to move forward. Now, when I was 30, I never thought I'd be saying that at age 67. Because I thought the prime was, 30, 35. But I can tell you, I don't care how old you are, it is time to make a choice to grow. Not sit around being bored, not sit around and let life dwindle away, fritter away. It's time to let life grow through you. Dedicate your soul and your whole life purpose to what you care about. And then live that. Keep it fresh. Keep it dynamic. Keep it in the forefront. Open to the creative openings. I can't believe, but we're starting a whole new center here in a couple months. We're moving into 8,000 square feet, and it's going to be a destination place. And, I'll tell you what, 9 years ago, oh no, we never would have thought of that. We were doing something completely different. Open to the creative possibilities that show up in the moment and say, yeah, that could work. I think I could, I could embrace that. So choose to grow. Find out what you care about. Choose to grow. Then the third thing, make a commitment. Make a commitment to live an examined life so that you don't get off track. Make a commitment that with every breath you take, you're willing to see life in a new way. You're willing to develop new beliefs. You're willing to let new vision come in, new information. Get out of the box, get out of the rigid, narrow little, it has to look like this, and make a commitment to allow life to show itself to you in the present moment. If you don't do that, how can you blossom? The Buddhist tradition says, don't get too stuck on believing anything, because our work is to always be open to new information. Something new. Think about it. I used to think the world was flat. Well, it isn't. We used to have these ideas, and we've got to be open to embracing new ideas. It's about the Tao, the flow of life, you see. Fourth thing. This is a biggie. He calls it generosity of spirit. And as I was working with this point, it occurred to me that a lot of times we think we're generous, right? We give stuff, we tithe, we run out and help our neighbors, whatever. And he says that real generosity of spirit is about bringing yourself to your life experience from the inside out. Bringing your soul qualities to your experience. Sure, if you've got the resources, you can include stuff. You can include other kinds of giving. But generous spirit brings self. And I got to tell you, it's a lot harder to bring your authentic, real, vulnerable self to an experience than it is to hand someone a check. We're talking about bringing yourself to your experiences from the inside out. These are all things that sponsor wholeness. Then the next thing is, where am I? Oh, I know. And also in this idea of bringing yourself, know, and this is big for us right now with this big project we're undertaking, know that whatever you need to know, whatever the experience is about, you can do it. You've got everything you need. Nothing is lacking. You can pull it off, whatever it is. You've got the capacity, the potential, and the pure potential to meet whatever your life is calling you to me, when you're bringing your inside energy into the experience. 5th, focus on we connections. See, we can't be whole if we're not in relationship with each other. We can't be whole in a cave by ourselves. We can't be whole if all we do is sit around and contemplate. We can't be whole if all we do is sit on a cushion. We've got to be willing to get into this we experience, relationships with each other, and not focus so much on the material stuff, on the money or on the distractions that material. And he identified, oh, it's really kind of surprised me, he identified distractions as television, cell phones, texting, video games, all this stuff, see? Because we get distracted by this other stuff. We're not bringing our whole selves into the experience where we're connecting. Connecting with each other is hugely important. This is part of our wholeness. 6, this is big. Glenda will laugh at this. Don't forget your body. Don't leave your body out. See, Glenda and I have this running joke. I tell her all I need is a head. All I need is a head. It's not true. And I find that this is an area of challenge for me because I don't even know I'm hungry. We don't often, poor Glenda, she's starving and she's really we gotta eat. See, we gotta bring our bodies with us because our bodies are the temple that do the work in the world. And if we're not paying attention to our bodies, or if we're giving our bodies too much attention, it works both ways. It works both ways. We've got to remember that we're all of it, not just this incredible divinity, but we're a body too, and our body has to serve us well. So we've got to remember to feed it. We've got to remember to let it rest. We've got to remember to take care of it, to pay attention to the messages that it sends us so that it can do its work in the world. And this is a biggie. This is a big challenge actually for me. We've got to appreciate, honor, and care for these body temples. You know, in the Hindu tradition, they do a daily puja, where you go and you sort of do this devotion. I say do a puja to yourself. Do a puja to yourself. Honor yourself. Make yourself beautiful. Tell yourself how wonderful you are. Put a garland around your neck. Bring yourself flowers. Bring yourself water. Bring yourself music. Whatever. Take care of this awesome being that we are, because without it, we can't do anything. We can't do much. Okay, 7. Reinvent yourself every day. And what this means is stay very present, like the work of Eckhart Tolle. Be in the now moment. Be willing to shift in the moment. Address every single moment as a new moment. And be willing to see yourself in a new way every moment along the way. And the only time to reinvent yourself is right where you stand, in the present moment. Amen. 8. Don't worry about running out of time. Ooh, this is a biggie. And as I was working with this, I've never quite gotten this big spiritual teaching. Oh, time is just a figment of your imagination. Just move into timelessness. I mean, yeah, right. Yeah, right. Well, as I was working with this idea, what I got is, it isn't time that's the problem. It's the pressure that we put ourselves under because of our perception of not enough time. Okay? And so this is the deal. Time is not separate from us. Now I want to ask you something. Have any of you ever run out of time? Are you out of time? Have you ever run out of time? Even doing a project, and you said, I don't have enough time. Is that the truth? Did you get your project done? Or did it get done in a certain way even though you thought there wasn't enough time to do it exactly the way you thought it should be done? We have enough time. The problem is we put ourselves under so much pressure that we get distracted by life circumstances and we think we don't have enough time. For years my mantra has been, because I'm one of these people, busy, I have enough time to do everything I need to do without having to be worried about it. Doesn't always turn out the way I want it to or the way I designed it, but I've never run out of time yet. 9, almost there. Forget trying to think your way through life. Don't try to analyze everything. Most of the time it doesn't pencil out very well. Most of the time you get to the bottom line and find out that it will change. Don't try to figure everything out. Allow yourself to feel into your life experience. Use your intuition. Trust that whatever you are called to be or do in the moment, you will be able to be or do it, whatever it is. Don't try to analyze and figure everything out. That's a biggie, especially for those of you who have brilliant minds. Trying to figure stuff out, it's a biggie. And finally, number 10, remember every single one of us is living the great mystery. And your great mystery is very different than my great mystery. We're all on a unique spiritual journey. And every single one of us have a mystery to experience and to embrace, and our mysteries are unique to our own walk in the world. And so Deepak Chopra says that part of this experience is the willingness to embrace the mystery, the thanks for it all, as Carol Marshall would say. To be willing to step into that arena where you don't have to know the bottom line. You don't have to have a fixed goal. You're just part of the process. And being part of the process is what this wholeness is all about. So, invitation. Consider your walk in the world as a walk in, as Jean Houston would say, earth school. Be willing to play. Be willing to bring your body forth and, do whatever it is that you need to do to have fun with it. Have the experiences. Refine your awareness. Use this walk in the world as an opportunity to demonstrate your spiritual mastery or not. Because you can always forgive yourself and do it again. Continue to polish yourself in each moment. Remember, there's nowhere to get. This is it, right now, in this moment. Practice daily. Don't worry about, getting there, because you're not going to get anywhere, because this is it. This is it. Create a lifestyle that keeps your vision alive. And then make promises to yourself that you can keep. Like, I'm going to eat. I'm going to take a rest.